When I reflect on what brought me to where I am today, one thing stands out. Success doesn't come from big leaps, but from small, consistent steps. Early in my journey, I failed many times. I remember failing university exams and being rejected by multiple companies, even KFC. But those failures didn't stop me. The key was to never give up. I used to tell myself, if not now, when? If not me, who? The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck lies in their willingness to keep going, even when everything seems against them. I've always believed that each small step is important. You don't need a radical overnight change. What truly matters is getting a little better each day. Think of it like planting a tree. You won't see growth immediately, but over time, these small daily improvements add up and create something incredible. When Alibaba first started, we were just 18 people in a small apartment. We didn't have money, technology, or connections, but we knew that through hard work and consistency, we could build something great. Success comes when you keep moving forward, even if it's slowly. Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to advance while others remain stuck? The truth is, there's never a perfect moment to begin. Those who wait for the ideal time usually end up falling behind. Success is reserved for those who take action, even when the conditions aren't perfect. If you want to reach your goals, you need to start now. And believe that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your dreams. The key difference between success and stagnation is having a growth mindset. I failed so many times in my life that it would have been easy to give up and say, this isn't for me. But I didn't do that. I knew that every failure was an opportunity to learn something new. I've always believed that as long as you're willing to learn and evolve, failure is never the end. It's just the beginning of something greater. When you understand that, you realize that failure is simply a stepping stone to success. The journey to success isn't quick, and it's not always easy. But each step you take, no matter how small, makes an impact. Looking back, I can see that true transformation came from consistency. Small acts of improvement, day after day, eventually lead to great achievements. The question you should ask yourself is, am I willing to take those small steps every day? Because in the end, that's what really makes the difference. One of the most valuable lessons I've learned throughout my journey is the importance of having an open, growing mindset. When I started Alibaba, I wasn't the smartest or the most experienced. But what set me apart was the belief that I could always learn and adapt. I failed many times and could have easily quit, but each rejection taught me something new. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit. Change yourself, I always say. True transformation happens inside you, not in the world around you. Adopting a growth mindset means embracing challenges instead of avoiding them. Many people are afraid to fail, but I've learned that failure is the best teacher you can have. I failed university exams, got rejected from jobs, and even investors laughed at my idea of an e-commerce platform. But each of those moments taught me lessons that no book could. Believe me, as long as you keep learning, failure stops being an obstacle and becomes a crucial step on the path to success. I often tell young people, the secret isn't in the knowledge you already have, but in your ability to keep learning. When I look to the future, I see that 50% of today's jobs will disappear in the next 20 years. And do you know who will be prepared for that? Those with a growth mindset, those who know how to adapt their skills to new realities. It's not about how much you know today, but about how willing you are to learn tomorrow. Throughout my career, I've seen the power of a growth mindset in action. When we first started Alibaba, nobody believed we could succeed. In fact, many ridiculed us, but I knew the world was changing, and that if we learned from our mistakes and kept growing, we'd be able to create something innovative. A growth mindset transforms challenges into opportunities and uncertainties into possibilities. So, if you want to achieve great things, you need to adopt this mindset. Embrace the unknown, accept challenges, and learn from them. The more you grow internally, the more prepared you are to face the world. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal conditions. The time to act is now. And the first action you should take is to believe you can continue learning and growing no matter what you've already achieved. People often underestimate the power of positive thinking. They let themselves get carried away by the chaos of the day, the tasks and problems, without realizing that the way you feel can completely transform your productivity. These affirmations have become an internal force, an energy that guides you when the going gets tough. If you start the day saying that something is impossible, then it really is. We shouldn't focus on the problems. We should focus on the solutions. This change in mentality, driven by these simple daily affirmations, will give you the strength to carry on. Positive thinking is a matter of repetition and consistency. Just as you need discipline to achieve your goals, you need discipline to talk to yourself positively every day. Think of affirmations as training for the mind. Every time you remind yourself of what you're capable of, you're strengthening your brain to deal with any challenge that comes along. So tell yourself that you are capable, that you can learn, grow, and overcome any difficulty. This simple practice can be the first step towards transforming your mindset and, as a result, transforming your life. In the end, what really matters is what you believe about yourself. And your daily affirmations can reprogram your mind to believe the best. I've always believed that your environment plays a crucial role in your growth. When we were building Alibaba, we didn't have much except for our vision and a small group of people who believed in the future of the internet. But above all, we surrounded ourselves with positivity. It wasn't easy. Many didn't believe in our idea. But I learned that if you want to grow and succeed, you need to be surrounded by people and energy that inspire and uplift you. It's impossible to thrive in a toxic environment. When you spend time with people who constantly complain and see problems in everything, your progress gets sabotaged. I always say, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. This applies to your social circle too. If you want to be positive, productive, and achieve great things, you need to be around people who share that same energy. In the beginning, many of my friends thought I was crazy for investing in an e-commerce project in China, but I chose to focus on those who supported me and believed in the vision. The influence of your environment goes beyond people. It's also in the books you read, the movies you watch, the content you consume. If you surround yourself with negativity, it's hard to maintain a mindset that pushes you forward. That's why it's so important to filter the type of information and stimuli you allow into your life. Personally, I enjoy reading biographies of entrepreneurs and visionaries who've overcome great challenges. It inspires me and gives me the certainty that any obstacle can be overcome. One of the biggest lessons I've learned throughout my journey is that to achieve success, it's essential to create a bubble of positivity around you. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but choosing where to focus your energy. During Alibaba's toughest moments, when everything seemed lost, I surrounded myself with people who brought solutions, not more problems. People who reminded me of our potential and what we could build. That mindset made all the difference. So, make a conscious choice about who you spend your time with and the kind of content you consume. If you want to grow and reach your goals, make sure you're surrounded by sources of positivity, inspiration, and motivation. The energy around you is contagious, and you have the power to shape it to work in your favor. This could be the turning point you need to transform your life and maximize your productivity. The first few hours of your day set the pace for everything that follows. If you start the day disorganized, without a clear purpose, your productivity plummets. When I started Alibaba, I soon realized that I needed a solid morning routine to maximize my energy and focus. In fact, many of the great entrepreneurs I've met over the years have one habit in common. They start the day with clarity of purpose. It's not just about waking up early, but how you use the first few hours to prepare your mind and body for a productive day. Instead of rushing straight to work, take some time to think about your goals. Think about what you really want to achieve and how you can use the day to get closer to those dreams. Instead of being carried away by external demands, you start the day with control and purpose. If you have a dream, you'll never feel poor. The dream gives meaning to your day. In addition to reflection, physical exercise is a good recommendation. It increases focus and mood, and I can assure you that this is true. An active body feeds an active mind, ready to face any challenge. It's also important to clearly define your goals for the day. Often, people start the day without knowing what they really need to do. At the beginning of Alibaba, I used to do this every day to ensure that we were making progress, even with limited resources. Remember that success doesn't come from big leaps, but from small, consistent steps. Finally, surround yourself with positive energy first thing in the morning. I like to read something inspiring, whether it's a book or a biography of someone I admire.